Pakistan secured about $13 billion in additional financial support from two traditional friends, about $9 billion from China and over $4 billion from Saudi Arabia, on top of assurances for about $20 billion investments. Finance Minister Ishaq Dar told journalists that during Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's recent visit to Beijing, the Chinese leadership promised to roll over $4 billion in sovereign loans, refinance $3.3 billion commercial bank loans, and increase currency swap by about $1.45 billion from 30 billion yuan to 40 billion yuan. The total worked out at $8.7 billion. Mr. Dar said Saudi Arabia had also agreed to revive the $10 to $12 billion petrochemical refining project at Gwadar, for which he had been assigned by the Prime Minister to coordinate with respective ministries for finalization. On top of that, the minister said Pakistan was engaging Saudi Arabia in privatization transactions like in LNG pump projects and shares in other entities to ensure non-debt creating foreign inflows. Moreover, the minister said another $1.4 billion worth of inflows were almost mature, including $500 million from the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank and two World Bank loans of $900 million under the National Harmonization of General Sales Tax. As the country's fiscal deficit surged by 43% in the first quarter of the current fiscal year, the government on Friday decided to increase petroleum development levy by about 67% on top-quality petrol used in luxury vehicles. The decision was taken at the meeting of the Economic Coordination Committee of the Cabinet, which also allowed up to $15 per barrel premium on high-speed diesel to private oil marketing companies for 2 months, November and December, involving an additional impact of about 10 rupee per litre. The meeting, presided over by Finance Minister Ishaq Dar, also approved a technical supplementary grant of 5 billion rupees to conduct the 7th population census through digital means. The downward trend in Pakistan merchandise export proceeds continued for the second consecutive month, raising fears about the closure of industrial units across the country, suggested provisional data of the Pakistan Bureau of Statistics released on Wednesday. The country's exports shrank 3.77% in October to $2.37 billion from $2.64 billion in the corresponding month last year. On a month-on-month basis, export proceeds decreased by 3.07%. Export contraction is a worrisome factor which will create problems in balancing the country's external account. However, the total export proceeds stood at $9.54 billion in July-October against $9.46 billion in the corresponding period last year, indicating a meager rise of 0.94%. The paltry growth shows that it will be difficult in the current fiscal year to achieve the export target. The government raised 509 billion rupees against the target of 600 billion rupees through auction of market treasury bills but kept the cut-off yield almost unchanged. The State Bank of Pakistan reported that the 3-month cut-off yield down by 1 basis point to 15.71%. The 12-month T-bills yield also down by 1 basis point to 15.739%. The benchmark 6-month paper rate was kept unchanged. The SBP received bids of 997 billion rupees. For the last several auctions, the T-bills rates are almost static as the interest rate is high at 15%. However, bankers believe that due to very high inflation of over 26% in October, the returns on T-bills are negative. Pakistan has formally decided to import 300,000 tons of wheat from Russia on a government-to-government basis. Regarding the import of wheat, the Ministry of Commerce presented a summary of the procurement of wheat from Russia on a G2G basis. It said the MS Produktog, a state-owned enterprise of the Russian Federation, had offered a supply of 300,000 of specified milling wheat at the rate of $372 per ton for shipment to Pakistan between November 1st to January 15, 2023. The Federal Reserve delivered another steep interest rate increase on Wednesday, as expected, with its move to cool red-hot inflation taking on more weight amid the political maelstrom ahead of key U.S. midterm elections. With high inflation squeezing American families of all political stripes, President Joe Biden faces a battle to avoid losing control of both chambers of Congress. The Fed's aggressive rate hikes this year so far have not had a noticeable impact on prices, but increase the risk the U.S. economy could suffer a recession even as the job market remains strong.